Okay, what's going on? LBHT crew. B, what's going on?
None. Nothing at all.
Oh,
Because the Carolina Panthers apparently, the GM said, "Hey, I don't need to show up for work until next week. I don't need to sign anybody to long-term deals. I don't need to re-sign any of our free agents. It's whatever."
well, our GM said, "All right, we're gonna overspend on D tackle, and my work is done here." But we are going to talk about that. This is going to be a little less structured because this is going to be heavy on Ravens and Panthers talk. You guys submitted a lot of questions this week at the last minute, literally, and it's just going to be a lot of football talk. We're going to be talking about um, the franchise tag and upcoming free agency and draft and all that stuff, the combine, all that's coming up. But first, let's give a shout out. First of all, it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well. But if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. All right. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and Twitch. All right. So wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like button. Also, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you are listening to the audio form of this, the audio podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you leave a 5-star review and share it with your friends because we trying to grow on that side. Okay, we trying to grow over there. All right, let's give a shout out to the chat. Sugar's in the house is always great day when it's Wednesday and the LBHT crew is in the house. Salute to you, Shug. Appreciate you. Zeke Hokage says, best show of all time has finally arrived. Hey, I appreciate that, Zeke. We're not quite there, but we are the premier nano influencers.
I'm going to
Okay.
disagree with you. Pretty sure we are there.
Yeah. Okay. No arguments there. All right. You won that argument. What's up, Buck? Thanks for coming through. Salute. Our guy Living Reg is in the house. Shout out to Living Big with Big Reg. He says, what's good, everybody? What's good with you? We got our guy Killer in the house. Says, hola, Jose. Mucho gusto, Brodny.
What's up, Cam?
Thanks for coming through. We got D Weezy in the house. Says, we are in here, y'all. Okay, D Weezy. Yeah. Shout out to you. Ravenville in the house says, what's up, LBHT crew? What's up, Ravenville? Our guy Omar Tillman in the house says, what's up, LBHT and chat? Shout out to Omar. All right. You got a lot of people in here. We got Julian in the house says, what up? What up, Julian? Thanks for coming through. And Suge Knight, is this? Oh, you're over here. Oh, he's on Twitch as well. Okay, I was like, he says we're in here too. Nice. Yes. That's how you do it over on Twitch. That's what I'm talking about. I be saying in the house is, where is didn't get the memo?
Oh, he's saying the Ravens.
Oh, Ravens didn't get the memo. Okay, got you. Yeah. Hashtag defund the defense. Our guy Coach Evans is in the house from Sip to Tally Film. Says what's good, guys. What's up, Coach? So if you guys don't know, okay, you guys all know about the Ravens Roundup every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time, except for the next 2 weeks. Okay, we're taking a 2-week break. All right, Coach Evans is taking a much deserved vacation. Okay, and safe travels, and I hope you have fun. And look, the Ravens Roundup won't be there, but it's going to be a whole lot going on with the Roundup crew. All right. So make sure you subscribe to everybody. That is us, who you're watching right now, Lunch Break Hot Take. Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films. You got Chris Just Joking from the Deep Cover Podcast. You got our guy OTR Mike. He is back. Okay. He's going to be back in the lab very shortly. So go subscribe to Open Mic with OTR Mike. All right. And then you got our guy Hendo from the Rogue Pod. Okay. So subscribe to all of us and you'll get all your Ravens fixings and then some. All right. Also subscribe to Ravens Talk with Yolanda. All right. She's part of the crew too. Okay. She's part of the crew. It says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Yolanda. Just like it says right there, Ravens Talk with Yolanda. And what's the other channel? Life with Yolanda. Subscribe to both. And Yolanda, she put out a juicing video the other day, and I looked at it, and I was just like,
that looks disgusting. I'm going to the Ravens channel.
I was like, April just bought that same juicer. Like, she bought it, I was walking out the house. She was pulling out the box. I was like, "What is that contraption?" I think it's still kicking me out. Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, we're both back.
Did you get kicked out too?
I sure did.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Didn't I tell you it was going to happen to you?
I mean, when you have that kind of attitude, of course it is. I'm trying to be optimistic, and you over here spreading whatever disease you got on your computer over to me. I don't appreciate it.
I told you.
Messed up.
I'm gonna stop sharing on Twitter. All right, if you're watching on Twitter, go over to YouTube, and hopefully that fixes it. Don't know what's going on. EV Mux, man, not happy with what's going on right now. Not happy with it. I told you this was going to happen, B. All right.
It's because you're negative Nancy over there.
All right. So if it's happening to both of us, here's what we might have to do. We might have to shuffle over to StreamYard.
We don't have StreamYard.
We might have to make an emergency move over there.
You ain't got to do all that. We go ahead and get going with the Black History Fact, and we're going to be fine for the rest of the night.
I didn't even finish my story. Let me finish my story. Okay. I'm looking at this juicer, and later on, Life with Yolanda comes out with a video, and I'm looking at the same juicer that April just bought. I'm like, sheesh, man.
Maybe April saw the video and went and got the juicer.
Maybe. Just Alice says, I'm watching on YouTube, and y'all both froze like crazy. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to happen again. So you guys got to bear with us. So
I don't know why that's funny, Just Allo. My man went all caps too.
What's going on, Jeremy? Shout out to you.
You ever seen? What's up, Jeremy?
What's up, Marcus? All right, we're gonna go. I mean, like I said, I feel like it's gonna happen again. We can't do anything about it. You guys, bear with us.
Well, it seemed like as long as you were just shouting out people in the chat, nothing went wrong. So maybe that'll just be the show tonight.
I hope, man. I hope. All right. Let's see. Jay Vanilla says both back. Okay. All right.
Wow. Just Allo.
What does Al say? Y'all froze like Draymond Green at a Tristan Thompson baby review. All right. We are going to get this show started. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History Fact. And B has a Black History Fact for you.
Welcome to this week's Black History Fact. The Dred Scott case, Dred Scott versus Sanford, a landmark event in U.S. legal history, unfolded in 1857. Dred Scott, an enslaved man, had been taken by his owner to free territories and states, yet he remained enslaved. Seeking freedom, Scott initiated a legal battle, arguing that residing in free areas should have emancipated him. However, on March the 6th, the Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice Roger B. Taney, ruled against him. Taney's majority opinion contended that enslaved individuals were property, not citizens, and therefore lacked the right to sue in federal courts. Furthermore, Taney declared the Missouri Compromise unconstitutional, asserting that Congress couldn't prohibit slavery in territories. This decision deepened the nation's sectional rift over slavery, exacerbating tensions between North and South. The ruling, widely criticized for its pro-slavery stance, intensified the anti-slavery movement. Its repercussions were profound, contributing to the eruption of the Civil War in 1861, as it underscored the irreconcilable differences between the two regions. Dred Scott remains a symbol of the legal and moral controversies surrounding slavery in the pre-Civil War United States. This ruling was later nullified by the 13th and 14th Amendments.
Every single time.
Well, whatever. That's not my fault. Man, I'm blaming everything on Evie Monks.
It is your fault.
It's not my fault. How's it my fault that Evie Monks doesn't know how to mute me while the video's playing and unmute me when the video stops?
It's your fault that you haven't learned to unmute yourself at this point. It's been like 4 weeks.
Whatever. Get over it. Okay? We're blaming everything on Evie Monks. Okay? It's going to happen to you too. Like just like the crash happened. I'm putting it on you.
It's so bitter. Baltimore thankfully took down the Roger Taney statue. Well, shouldn't have been one to begin with, probably, but that's good.
Right. Our guy Hendo's in that.
And Jose went bye-bye. He was saying that Hendo's in the house. There he is, the Rogue Pod right there. Once Jose gets back, we're going to be jumping into some Ravens talk. Let me just might as well go ahead and get started now.
All right.
The Ravens looking at Michael Thomas in free agency.
And B's out. See that? Look at that. All right. Ravens are looking at Michael Thomas in free agency. This is going to be a show. We're sorry, guys. Bear with us. All right.
Only to me after it happens to you. This is all your fault. I don't understand. Look, man, you need to fix your computer. You need to fix your internet.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas, also known as Slant Boy, also known as a wide receiver who has not been productive in going on 3 decades in the NFL. He used to be the man, though, back in the 70s and 80s for the New Orleans Saints. Not sure why the Baltimore Ravens would be looking into him, considering what just happened with Odell Beckham.
Yeah. All right. So, the 1 or 2 people that are over on Twitch, I stopped the stream on Twitch. I'm trying to troubleshoot in real time here. What's going on?
You know it's Facebook. I don't know why you're leaving them for last. It's always Facebook.
Facebook isn't crashing everything. All right, I'm stopping it on Facebook too. If you're over on Facebook,
damn, my bad, Facebook.
I'm stopping it.
Stop the show for y'all.
Thank me for that. All right.
They can't hear you no more. You already stopped it.
We're just on YouTube now, and if that's the case, if we don't crash again, I mean, look, either way, Evie Monks, we have some issues with you. We have some issues with you. All right, this is not what we strive for.
Should pinpointed the problem for you. It's that Starbucks internet you're using.
Well, okay. What about you?
Okay. My internet is at 200 megs right now on the Wi-Fi.
Mine's at 300.
No, it's not. Just
yeah.
lying. Just be making stuff up.
Yeah.
You sound like a vegan right now. Anyway. So, Ravens fan, how are you feeling about potentially signing Michael Thomas?
I mean, when I first heard that, I was like, that's an absolute joke. You see the normal gatekeepers and just, the EDC protectors out there online, liking the move, defending the move. Oh yeah, great move. Yeah, he won't cost that much and he provides veteran experience. I mean, how many times are you going to go for that? There is no reason at this point to be signing somebody like Michael Thomas to the team. What does he offer you? What's going on, Tanja? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Tanja?
Tanja, you came on the worst night. I
knew she took down the comment I put up without reading it, but that's all right.
Oh, my bad. I didn't see it. Anyway, Tanja, yeah, you came on the worst night. We're having all the technical difficulties. Agent E says, stop lying, Jose.
Right.
Stop lying about what? B's internet?
No, your internet.
B does this thing called projection. You guys know what projection is? Projection is when
I'll go to
you project onto somebody.
My screen.
Go ahead and share it. See, he's cutting me off. Projection is when you're doing something, but you say that about somebody else, but you're the one that's actually doing it. Okay, he knows my internet is superior.
No,
he knows it. Yes,
it's not.
He's just mad jealous. I have better internet. I have better restaurants around here.
Okay, you got better restaurants. Nobody's gonna argue that. But the internet thing is flat out false. And it's gonna be even worse soon because we're getting fiber internet out here. We're gonna have 5 gigs.
I mean, I'm looking at the bars on our screen right here. I have full bars. You have not full
Don't look
bars.
at the bar. There's a lot. The bars don't mean anything. Those bars are like an artist rendition. It's nothing.
Engraven tunes in to watch this disaster that's unfolding here on the show. What's going on, Engraven? Appreciate you coming through.
Before we get kicked out again, I want to say what's up to Alex Rada, who says Thomas is just a body at this point. They should draft a receiver. That's not why I put that up there. I want to say congratulations. Alex did win the loyalty points contest for the month of February. So go ahead. You want to get at us on either Twitter. You can DM us. You can send us an email at LBHTShow@gmail.com and let us know what you would like for your gift, and we'll get that out to you. And then later on in the show, we're going to do the spin for the $25 gift card.
Shout out to Buck for the donation. Basically, he just said, I hope that next billing cycle didn't go through on EV Mux. I hope so too, Buck. Coach says he's a camp body. I don't even want him for a camp body. Why are we wasting our time with him?
Y'all better not be talking about a camp body the week before free agency starts.
Our first move in free agency is a camp body.
Right.
Okay. So we know what's going on. It's the same story, same old Ravens.
Oh my God.
What is it?
I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. I went to give Buck his points, and for the first time ever, Streamlabs just went ahead and updated it automatically. Everybody hit that Streamlabs link, and I guess I'll be back in a minute because Jose just got kicked out again, and you know what that means. But thank you, Buck. You've got your 300 points, and then we'll see what happens from there. Oh wait, I didn't get kicked out. That's nice. Jose's
Not
back.
yet. You're next.
God damn, man! Like why? Why you gotta be like that?
All right, this is gonna happen. We're gonna have to make this a shorter stream, and then we're gonna have to make a move. We will not be on EV Mux next week.
Or will we?
Nope.
Or will we?
I specifically told them this can't happen again. What's up? What's up, big cuz? And there goes B. Right on time. Okay, this is gonna be when you see me leave, expect B to leave next. That's how it's gonna be this stream. Now I can't restart the stream. If I restart the stream, it's gonna. I mean, it's gonna be an issue. That's Jeremy says the internet doesn't want you to go 2 hours. It's not the internet.
I believe you infected me. I cannot believe it.
It's his platform. See?
I cannot believe you. All right. Anyway, we're gonna go hashtag rapid fire through these topics. We don't like the Michael Thomas deal. Don't sign Michael Thomas. That's nonsense. What are you doing?
No, well, hold on. We gotta give him a show. But yes,
we got a lot of topics. It's still gonna be a show.
I understand, but I gotta you gotta give your take. I gotta give my take as well. But no, I agree with B. That's a waste of time. Like we always want to get these old, washed up veterans. You didn't want Michael Thomas when he was in his prime. It's better not happen again. They said, hold on, being facts. All right, go to the next topic.
Sorry. That was funny. Next up, we're going to skip over to a broader NFL topic, the Denver Broncos cutting Russell Wilson. Cutting Russell Wilson 2 years after trading 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th, and 3 players for him. And also cutting him means that they are taking the biggest dead money hit in cap history, $85 million. It's actually bigger than the second and third biggest combined.
Yeah.
Then they compounded this because remember they went out and they traded a first and a second to get Sean Payton so he could fix Russell Wilson, and his answer was cut Russell Wilson.
You know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. You know what's crazy about that? He was starting to play better down the stretch, and then they decided, hey, how about you take this provision out your contract? Well, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, we want to bench you. And then like it's just weird. Like after he's StreamYards donated 169 cents, you couldn't live with your own failures. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Thank you, StreamYard. Appreciate it.
We're not going back. Restream is next, okay? I mean, look, all of you streaming platforms, get your bids together, all right? Because we're listening to offers. But no, he was starting to play better down the stretch, you know, and the team was competitive. And then they just decided, yeah, we didn't really want this to work. That's what it seemed like to me. It seemed like they brought in Sean Payton. They're put on this front like, yeah, we're gonna try to make it work, but really they had no plans of making it work. They were trying to bully Russell Wilson into taking out this provision in his contract so they can get out of the contract. There were reports, or at least tweets I saw, where they're talking about how they were basically trying to trick Russell Wilson. Like they're trying to get out of contract by getting Russell Wilson to, get into it with Sean Payton on the sideline. There was a game where he was screaming at Russell Wilson, which seemed like for no reason. And Russell Wilson didn't react, smartly. But, they were saying if Russell Wilson had, kind of retaliated, they might have tried to get him out on conduct detrimental to the team type of thing. They're trying ways to trick him out of his contract, and Russ didn't go for it, and he put them on blast on I Am Athlete, and they finally said, all right, man, look, it is what it is. The jig is up. We just don't want you here. We'll pay the $85 million. We don't care about the team. In fact, we don't care about the team so much, we're going to blow up the team, because now there's talks about trading Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy.
That's just a regular conversation they have there. They've been saying that for 3 years. I think that really what happened is they realized there wasn't going to be any fixing it with Russell Wilson. Like, if you have to worry about how your quarterback's going to play every week, sometimes he played okay, sometimes he looked terrible and all that. Like, there's no future in that, especially with a guy, an older quarterback like Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. It was dirty and shady with the way they tried to get out of it. I mean, you just gotta swallow that, right? You just gotta take it. Yeah, you gave him that deal right after you traded for him, after you gave up the 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th, and 3 players. I'm gonna keep saying that because it's a worst trade in NFL history. But yeah, you decided it's the wrong move. You got to move on and just take the consequences of it. I'm sure they have their eyes on maybe JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix, or maybe moving up and getting one of the top 3 quarterbacks in this class. But yeah, I mean, it's time to blow it up.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's been a much happier man, Agent.
Agent, let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell you something before I get kicked out again. Let me have $5 million in my bank account.
They said no. Nothing before you get kicked out again. But I think where he was going with that is Russell Wilson has won.
I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. I knew it was going to happen. I was like, I can feel it. I was about to spit some hot fire, and they're like, nope. Look, let me get $5 million in my bank account from playing playing football, basketball, whatever. Let just $5 million sit in my bank account. You would never get the best of me again.
Wow, I guess he got the $5 million.
You would see the best of me again. I salute any athlete that still has drive after getting paid. Lamar Jackson got his bag in the offseason and went out there and became the league MVP. I'm telling y'all, that would never be me. That would never be me. As soon let $5 million touch my bank account, that's a wrap. I get tens of millions of dollars and I get Sierra. No, I'm chilling. I'm good. You can make all the jokes you want. I'm good.
And maybe that's what Russ did. Because he's been falling off for several years. But I'm sure he'll land on his feet in Pittsburgh or wherever he ends up, and he'll be fine.
$85 million that they have to pay him. They have to pay him $85 million. I get paid $85 million and I don't have to do anything for it. Mm-hmm. That's it for me, guys. It's been real. All right,
Agent, I'm not even gonna bring that up. That doesn't even make any sense.
But man, right, gosh, not married no celebrity. Why?
Go to bed, Agent.
Why? Bed. So celebrities can't be children of God? That doesn't make sense.
It makes no sense. Next up, we're going to switch to a little Panthers news. There's a couple of topics in Carolina right now. One, they're looking to move on from Donte Jackson. And Ravens fans, I know what you're probably thinking. Who is Donte Jackson? Donte Jackson is a corner who they drafted in the second round several years ago. They extended him recently. He's been a solid player throughout his career. He's been a little bit up and down. He's had some injury issues. But right now, they're just they're at kind of a crossroads, right? He's part of the old Panthers regime or guard, whatever you want to call them. They're trying to move forward and rebuild this team. There's not really a place for him. He's a little bit on the older side. He's not old, but he's a little bit on the older side. He's probably not going to be around when they, fully rebuild and get this thing turned around anyway. He's making more than he arguably should be considering his play on the field. And so they're looking to trade him. And if they're not able to trade him, looks like he's going to end up being released. And look, I don't think they should have extended him to begin with. I didn't think that he was that kind of a corner that you just you give that huge contract to. I didn't think that he was going to be a key defensive player several years down the line. But it's good that they get the new coach, the new GM in there, and they're looking to kind of purge the roster of the bad contracts and get themselves a clean slate moving forward.
Yeah, Donte Jackson was considered one of the top corners at one point. There goes B.
I turned off.
Oh, okay. He was considered one of the top corners at one point. Then injuries kind of hit him hard, right? And I think he was still battling back from injury last year as well. Mm-hmm. So I think he's still a quality corner, but when you're rebuilding, that's definitely a luxury you can do without.
Yeah. Big Cuz has a good question here. Says, why is Brian Burns on a franchise tag, period? Which leads right into the second Panthers topic for the night. Brian Burns did, in fact, get the franchise tag before the Tuesday deadline. The reason that he's on the tag is because he wants more money than Carolina is willing to pay him. He has all the leverage in this situation, right? He's about 26 years old, so he's just kind of entering his prime or right in his prime. He's the best player on the team. They turned down a trade offer of 2 first-round picks already for him. So he's essentially just naming his number and saying, hey, if you don't want to pay it, you can tag me, you can trade me, do whatever. But he's not willing to sign for less, is what it looks like. They're not willing to meet the number that he wants.
Now, they said they were only a few million off, right?
That was the rumor that he was looking for 30 and they were offering like 27. There's another rumor out there that maybe he wants more than 30 now. Whatever it is, like this is on the Panthers front office, because you can't turn down that kind of trade offer and then not get the deal done.
That's right. Brian Burns, I played that way too.
You certainly don't wait a year and say, hey, we'll see how you play. No, you have to get the deal done right then. And you give them the long term. It's like Laramie Tunsil. When they gave up all those picks for Laramie Tunsil said, you're going to give me the biggest contract of all time for a tackle, because how are you going to say no? You just traded multiple first round picks for me.
Yeah, I mean, they turned down multiple first round picks for Brian Burns. Mm-hmm. Brian Burns says, pay me. They say, well, let's see how you play this year. And Brian Burns says,
I'll play well. He didn't have huge numbers. He finished with, I believe, 8 sacks. But there's no one on the other side of that defense. So he played well, but he didn't put up, top of the league, elite type stats. And then he said, give me elite money anyway.
Yeah, because what are you going to do about it? Well, we don't want to pay you that, but you're going to pay me. Well, we'll tag you. That's still paying me.
Right. You're going to pay me, or somebody else is going to pay me on a much better team.
Yeah.
It's one of those, don't threaten me with a good time, right? Like, oh, we'll trade you to Baltimore. Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't get to win 2 games next year. Like,
it's not going to be 2 games. They'll be better.
But I'm just saying, they won 2 games this year. You have no leverage in this situation. You have none. You have to give.
There goes B. But B's going to say he's absolutely right. You have to give him the money. The minute you decide we're not going to give up we're not going to give him up for 2 first-round picks. I think it was 2 first-round picks and a couple other things. 'Cause I think it was the Rams that made the offer to him, right? Once you decide we're not doing that, that's when the deal has to be done. And we say it all the time. It's always cheaper to get the deal done now than later. So whatever you're going to pay him last year, it wouldn't have been as much as you're going to have to pay him this year or moving forward. And you won't get the 2 first-round pick offer again for Brian Burns.
No. Yeah, they're I don't know, man. They're gonna move him, and it's gonna be for less than 2 first-round picks. I'm gonna be very upset, but it is what it is. You know, they're essentially starting over there. And we're gonna move on to. You want to go to the submitted questions, or you want to talk a little basketball first?
Well, I mean, Madubuike was the other.
Yeah, but that's in the submitted questions. So.
Okay, all right. We're gonna talk about Madubuike. That's part. Let's do submitted questions then. Let's do submitted questions.
From Big Reg, was tagging Madubuike a mistake?
Also, because we're running through it, hit this real quick. All right, make sure you hit that like button. Even though this show has been a debacle, hit that subscribe button if you're new. Okay, if you're joining the train wreck. All right.
Yeah, I think it's been quite fun.
Yes, it's been a lot of fun. I see a lot of laughing emojis in the chat. They're quite enjoying this. This is for points. Alex Rita got points earlier. He got the most points last month, right?
Yeah.
So he gets a prize. Okay, we're getting away another prize. We're going to do a drawing. Anybody that has at least 1,000 points qualifies for our drawing, and that's for a $25 Amazon gift card. Okay, and submitted questions. You submit questions, and we read it on air. You get points for that. Donating get you points, subscribing get you points, sign up to our patreon.com/LBHT Show get you points. All right. And just participating in the chat. If you want a quick 1,000 points, like I don't want to do anything else, I just want my 1,000 points right now, go to LBHTShow.com and sign up for our newsletter. That's still pending. We're still working on it. Right. Just that box pops up, put your email address in there, right? And then hit us up and say, hey, this is me. I signed up for the newsletter. Give me my points, and you'll get your 1,000 points. All right. So this is from Big Reg. Was tagging Madubuike a mistake? Yep. Absolutely, it was a mistake. Madubuike, excellent player. Okay, one of the top defensive tackles in the league. Love how he played. I'm gonna love how he plays this year too, because I think he's going to keep it up. I hope he keeps it up. But I don't dislike the player. It's just that when we don't have enough money to get everything we need, the defense is where we need to get our money from. Okay, this is hashtag defund the defense over here. We debated Sonny on this a couple of weeks ago. Sonny believes we need to spend more money on the defense, but who are you guys blaming that Kansas City Chiefs loss on? Are you blaming it on defense or offense? Offense? Well, then you need to put money into the offense. Okay, we don't have any playmakers outside of Lamar on the offense. We don't have anybody outside of Lamar that you actually hold accountable. Not even Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews can go out there. Mark Andrews hasn't done anything in the playoffs. His whole career, he hasn't done anything. He has, and Mark Andrews has never been called out for not doing it. For not showing up in the playoffs. You don't expect anything from him. Right. But if we had somebody like Tyreek Hill, if we had somebody like Stephon Diggs, if we had somebody like Jamar Chase, there's a higher expectation because those guys are playmakers. You expect them to make plays, especially in those moments. And those guys have. Okay. So that's where the money needs to go. Getting Madubuike has no expectation. And it's just too much money for a position that you can replace. We have replaced. Okay. I mean, we have Michael Pierce on the team. We have Travis Jones, and we have Broderick Washington. So you've already put the guys in place to replace Madubuike, and you're saying, no, we have to tag Madubuike and we have to get a deal done. That's a lot of money in just that one position. So we're $11 million over the cap now.
Yeah, $11 million over the cap, which means they have about a week to get into compliance. You have to be under the cap before the start of free agency. which means they're going to have to make some cuts like the Bills have been doing all day today. They're going to have to restructure some players, maybe ask players to take pay cuts, something like that. I see a lot of people in the chat saying they hope that they trade Madubuike, or hoping that maybe somebody else offers them a contract. They tagged him because they want to keep him.
Yeah,
they're working on a long-term deal. I don't doubt that they'll get a long-term deal done. It's just a question of whether or not they'll get it done in time for free agency for them to use the extra money that frees up. And I think probably not.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're gonna restructure some deals. They'll make some cuts, and yeah, they'll do that. But me and B always talk about what the Ravens should do, what they need to do, right? But we're not delusional. We know what they're going to end up doing. But when we're honest about our opinions, some people don't like those opinions. What they should do is let Madubuike walk, let Queen walk, right? Shoot, let Marlo walk. I don't care, right? We say, hey, we need you to take a pay cut. Don't want to take a pay cut? Understand? You got to go. Okay, you've made the investment on defense. You've already those guys leaving isn't going to crush this defense. It's it's not going to devastate this defense. It'll still be a good defense. So the defense might get a little worse, but they'll be fine. Invest in the offense, right? We talked about 2 guards on the Ravens roundup on Monday that we should be looking at. One is the guard that's coming from New England. He's a free agent. Onwenu. What's his name? Onwenu, and then you have Dotson from the Rams. 2 young guards, good guards. Yeah, they're going to get paid. I think Robert Hunt too was another guard from Miami. So the interior O-line we need to heavily invest on. We have we don't have a left guard. Okay, well, I mean, who's our left guard?
Hey, I got a question. Who's your right guard?
Who's our right guard? That's my point. So, I mean, we don't have a left guard right now. John Simpson, free agent, don't want him back. Ben Cleveland didn't get to play last year. Hasn't really, earned a starting spot. So we don't have a left guard. We don't have a right guard. Why are we talking about Madubuike? Why are we putting all this focus on the defense? We need to get the interior O-line shored up. We need to get even right tackle. Is our right tackle under contract?
Moses, I believe, has another year, but he's Morgan Moses. He's into his mid-30s, and he's not particularly good.
So there's too many questions on the O-line, and if you're saying you're putting in the effort on O-line, this doesn't look like putting in the effort. I mean, look, free agency didn't start yet. Maybe it's possible that hey, we're going to get Madubuike signed, and we're going to actually manipulate the cap, and we're going to put money into the offense as well. It's early, but this takes a huge chunk out of it when we're talking about what we need to do on offense. And you already see they're softening. They're trying to soften the blow right now by letting you know up front we're trying to go after players like Mike Thomas, right?
Yeah,
we're playmaker. No, Darren. Shout out to Darren. I saw your question in the chat, Darren, asking about Saquon Barkley. Yes, we should get Saquon Barkley. I don't think we will.
Yeah, and I don't think that they're realistically looking at him. I think they're focused on Derrick Henry. But yeah, like you said, it is early, but just the history of the people who run the Baltimore Ravens would tell you that they're not going to do the things that we are suggesting that they do. They're not going to go after a Saquon Barkley. They're not going to go after the top offensive lineman available because they believe defense is the way.
Yeah.
And that's just what they believe.
Yeah.
So unfortunate.
Shout out to E. He says, "Hey guys, bye guys, just dropping in and now gotta run." Salute to our guy E, man. Thanks for coming through.
Shug has a question as well.
What's up, Shug?
To our next question here. So, what was your best day at work?
Best day ever?
Mm-hmm. At
man,
work.
I can't think of my best day. You go first. I can't think of my best day ever.
My best day at work ever is easy. When I was working for Comcast, I was doing tech support and call center, and a guy called up. If you don't know about the tech support at Comcast, if you call, your internet's not working, we'll do some troubleshooting. If we can't fix it, we'll send out a technician. And sometimes if the technician can't fix it and they determine it's a problem not at the house, then they put in for a maintenance appointment. Which has to go through the county, and it can take forever. Like, you can't We can't even give an estimate to the customers at that point, right? So this guy calls up and he said, "Hey, just calling to check on." They call them SROs, the maintenance appointment, because he had a bunch of technicians out. His internet's not working. And he wants to see if it's been scheduled and all this. And I'm like, okay. And I pull up his account. There's no maintenance appointment scheduled on his account. So, I tell him to hold on because I need a couple minutes to prepare myself to get yelled at and cursed out by this guy on the phone, because that's what's going to happen. Because if it's not on the account already, essentially we have to send out another tech, have that tech say, "Hey, you need a maintenance appointment," and it starts the process right back from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So I put him on hold for a minute. I come back and I tell him, "Hey, they didn't put a maintenance appointment on you. There's no SRO on your account. So essentially we're going to have to send somebody else out." And I'm apologizing and everything. And he's taking it really well. He's being really polite about it. And he starts telling me that he was a former Navy SEAL, and he's in a wheelchair now. And he essentially, it's difficult for him to get around. And he uses the internet essentially for contact, right? To get in touch with friends and family, all that kind of stuff. And I feel terrible at this point because he's not going to have the internet for a very long time. But we had, he just started, I don't know how we got on topics, but he just started asking me stuff, and we started talking about movies and books and music. He's telling me, he invited me to his church. I ended up talking to this guy for 4 hours about nothing work related. And, I was 10 feet away from my supervisor. My supervisor didn't say anything. So I made the day go by really quickly. And it was an awesome conversation.
All right. So I've worked too many jobs to remember, but I could tell you about one of my best days. I can't say it's for sure my best days. One of my best days, it was when I ain't gonna say the job I worked, right? It was it was over at Fort Meade though. It was a 12-hour shift. We were working, we shifted from day to mids, every few months. But this time around we were on mids. So that meant I worked from 5:30 p.m. to 5:30 a.m. And this is on Christmas night. Christmas night we had to work, right? And not a lot going on. So they already planned to do a lot of like holiday celebrations in the office, right? And it was a great time. Like they had like a gingerbread making contest. We did all kinds of little games. People brought in all kinds of cakes, cookies, all kinds of stuff, right? A lot of fun. And we usually had, even before that, we had fun. Now, I wasn't in the Army because I was in the Air Force, but this was as a defense contractor. So this is after I got out the Air Force. But we're playing all these games. Now a whole lot of work to do, so we were just having fun. We always have fun on the mids anyway, but this night was a lot of fun. But what really capped the night, the director, okay, of our little ops was she came in and brought some treats. Right now, if you guys don't know, I'm a sucker for chocolates, right? So she brings in these fudge balls, and she goes, "Hey everybody, brought you some fudge balls." And she says something like, "Hey, it's got a little extra kick to it. Wink, wink." Right? I don't pick up on that. I see fudge. I was like, oh, okay. So I pick up one and I eat it. I was like, these are pretty good, right? So I keep going back for more and more and more. Right? I'm knocking those things down. Well, the fudge balls had rum in it, and not a little bit of rum, right? Like, because I heard people say, "Oh, this is kind of strong or whatever," but I mean, I don't know. Some people think chocolate is rich. And I was just like, all right, man. I don't like around 2:00. I feel good. And my supervisor, like, he's like, "You okay?" I was like, "I don't know. I feel a little weird." He's like, he looked up. He's like, "How many of those fudge balls did you eat?" I was like, "Man, I ate like 10 of them." Right.
I feel amazing.
and I don't drink, right? I mean, it's not a religious thing or anything like that. I just don't drink. But man, I didn't know what was going on, but I felt great. Oh man. Shout out to Living Legend for a $5 donation. It says Jose and Brodny LBHT. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate
All
it.
right. What's the next question?
All right. Next question.
That's a fact. Pay the bills. I didn't drink. I consumed.
Next up is from our guy Omar Tillman. Is the constant turnover at head coach and GM the reason the Panthers? Wait,
I did that. My bad. That's my fault.
Come on, man.
My bad. My bad.
On, man.
Is a constant turnover
the reason the head coach or the Panthers are stuck in purgatory? Yes and no. What he's referring to is obviously, they had Ron Rivera there for a long time. They fired Ron Rivera mid-season. Then, they hired Matt Rule. A few years later, they fired Matt Rule mid-season. Then they hired Frank Reich. They fired Frank Reich mid-season. They had, Marty Herney. Dave, even going back to Dave Gettleman. They had Dave Gettleman. They fired him. They brought back Marty Herney, who had been the GM previously and been fired. They fired him. They go through their whole extensive search. They bring in Scott Fitterer, who was the worst trading GM I've ever seen. They fire him. Now they're in there with Dan Morgan starting this offseason. So yeah, I mean the lack of continuity does not help for sure. But they ever since Cam injured his shoulder back in 2016, they got maybe like one more good season out of Cam, like full season playing quarterback, and then it's just been a roller coaster trying to fill that position. They go from Cam to Teddy Bridgewater to Sam Darnold to Baker Mayfield. They drafted Matt Corral and Will Grier in there. They had PJ Walker, Kyle Allen. They had Taylor Heineke for a bit. Last year, obviously, they brought in Bryce Young. So they haven't had good quarterback play in quite a while. And yeah, they've been poor at drafting. Dave Gettleman in particular he would never use the full 7 picks that they had. He would always trade some of them. But it goes back beyond, the 2020 and David Tepper taking over. This is a franchise, again, who's never had back-to-back winning seasons. They've been poorly run since their inception. Yeah. So I can't just blame it on, the recent turnover, but it certainly hasn't helped. Now, hopefully, David Tepper has learned his lesson. Dave Canales and Dan Morgan will get the time without the pressure to try and turn things around. And if they can build around Bryce Young, I think that they'll be on the right track pretty soon.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, as in any job, a high turnover rate, it's going to affect your bottom line, right? And you started out with Richardson, who wasn't a good owner. He's just a terrible person. Mm-hmm. And, all these owners, it's all about nepotism. They hire who they know, who they like. And Richardson didn't have a good circle around him, So when Marty Herney's sticking around longer than he should, okay? And yes, even though I don't think he was a good GM, when you pick high, you can get lucky sometimes. And that's what happened when they got Cam Newton. And even though Cam Newton gave you some great memories, he got you to the Super Bowl, you didn't put together a good team around him, And I think when a new owner came in, Tepper, more the same thing. I still believe, me and B kind of differ on this. I believe after Cam hurt his shoulder, he could have still came back and been a good quarterback, a productive quarterback. We've seen this with what's his name? He's played for the Jets. Chad Pennington, right? I think he could have. Would he have been the exact same? I don't know, man. I don't know, but they didn't want to give him a chance. You let Matt Rule come in and out the gate just like, nah, I don't want him here. You jettison a legend at that, the Panthers legend, right? And yeah, they did him dirty. They did Cam dirty. So, you get rid of him and you never found your answer at quarterback. You had to beg him to come back. You have to apologize to him to come back. Let him come back for a couple games and then be like, okay, well, enough of that, right? He should have been your quarterback the whole time to help you transition to Bryce Young or whoever your quarterback would have been now. But had you done that, you wouldn't be as bad as you are now. because you wouldn't have to give up DJ Moore. You wouldn't have to give up Christian McCaffrey because you're desperate to get that quarterback. You have stability there. You're competitive, and you can find your quarterback along the way and keep the players that are already there. Yeah. So a lot of moves that they made that were the absolute wrong moves that got them to where they're at now. And all we can do is hope that the moves they do make going forward make a difference.
Yeah. Next up, this is from Daniel Franklin. It says, if unable to work out a long-term deal, what do you think Madubuike would bring in a trade? I think they're going to get a deal worked out. I think he wants to stay in Baltimore. Obviously, they want to keep him there. But, assuming that they can't get something worked out, they're not going to trade him, I don't think. I think he's just going to play on the tag, and they'll use that as an excuse to not, be more active in free agency or anything like that. But if they were open to trading him, they couldn't get a deal done, and they don't want him playing on the tag, they say, okay, we're just going to move you. I think you get a second-round pick for him.
That's what I'm about to say too. I hope you're not thinking first-round pick, because especially with Chris Jones on the market,
and a second is being, that's like the best case scenario, I think.
Yeah. So the Chiefs tag L'Jarius Sneed. So Chris Jones is a free agent. So that's where all the focus is going to be. Wherever he goes, I guess Madubuike would be the next hot person if we don't get a deal done for him. But again, you have to pay him. So having to pay him on top of that makes it tough. And he's not Chris Jones. He's not Aaron Donald. So yeah, I would think second round pick. Maybe second round pick is something else, something later, but don't expect much.
Next up, this is from Chris White. Are our expectations for the Ravens too high?
Well, what are your expectations? I mean, we're in the AFC Championship game. I don't think they're too high. You should expect them to be a Super Bowl contending team, which is what they are. When we make these criticisms about the team, we're not saying that the team sucks. They should have already won a Super Bowl, probably 2, for being honest, right? So I don't think they're too high. I think your criticisms of the front office and of the coaching staff are too low. They need to be higher, right? I think your faith in them is too high. Okay, when we make these criticisms of EDC.
Yeah, I'll just jump in here. I think that with the way the team stands right now, having Tag Madubuike, not having any money for free agency, we don't know exactly how they're going to open up that cap yet. They currently don't have a left guard or a right guard. They obviously need help at wide receiver. They need a starting running back. I would say the expectations of them being a Super Bowl contender are too high. But obviously, the rest of the offseason needs to play out. But
you're talking about for this year, right going into next season.
Yeah. But, so as it as it stands right now, I'm expecting them. Honestly, my thought for them next year is about 10 wins.
10 wins,
and not being a serious Super Bowl contender.
I think just so as long as you have Lamar there, and Zay Flowers, we all think Zay Flowers could really be that guy. He's going to be better next year. I think they're still going to. I think it's going to be similar to this year. I think we're going to have it's going to look like this for a while until they get the message. Like John Harbaugh isn't going to get us over the hump. I think we're going to be right there in the AFC Championship game again, and we're going to fall short. Right? I think this is the kind of team we are. Lamar is going to get you. Is going to keep you that competitive. Like, he's already had the worst possible players you can have on the team. Right? If Des Bryant, who hadn't played in like 3 or 4 years, cracks your starting lineup, you can't get worse than that. Right? So there's nowhere to go. But even if we get Michael Thomas, it ain't worse than having Sammy Watkins. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't get any worse than what we already had. So he's going to stay competitive, right? We can't get worse than Giro. So he's going to continue to play at a high level. He's going to keep us, thinking that we can compete. But when we go against the Chiefs, because that's really the team we're talking about, we're going to fall short.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Is like they're not going to be serious contenders, is what I'm saying. Like they might make the playoffs, but they've made the playoffs multiple times and just been bounced in the first round. Let me see here. So I be saying, he says the non-exclusive tag that Madubuike is on will give them 2 first-round picks. That's just what it's set at. You don't have to give up 2 first-round picks if you make the trade, and nobody's going to give them 2 first-round picks.
Oh, that's B. Oh, that's you. My bad. B froze. Basically he's saying the non-exclusive tag. Yeah, he's like that. Yeah, that's what it's said. It's not mandatory that you have to give up 2 first-round picks, right? You can negotiate whatever you want.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, nobody's going to give them 2 first-round picks for Justin Madubuike. So if somebody is interested in trading for him, they'll negotiate and come to whatever agreement.
Yeah,
but they're not going to get 2 first for him.
And I be saying, Jose, do you have the show on your phone so you don't miss a beat? No, man. It's just, man, we're used to stuff like this. B&B have had to deal with a lot of things over the years. We're used to little mishaps like this. It's annoying, and Evie Must is going to hear from us, but man, we just gonna power through it.
Next up, this question is from Jin Mori. Who should we pick in the first round of the upcoming NFL draft? Obviously, he's talking about the Baltimore Ravens because the Carolina Panthers do not have a first round pick.
Okay, who should they pick? I think it should be a offensive lineman. Or if talented wide receiver drops, like we were talking about Keon Coleman, right? He ran a 4.6 40. If he dropped, I would say snatch him up. I don't care about that 40 time at all. But the reality is we're probably going to get cornerback. I'm serious. I think that's where we're going to
go. I'm laughing because it's probably true. I don't, I don't care about Keon Coleman's 40 time. I care about the fact that he's not great at getting separation, and I don't like contested catch receivers. I just for me,
I think he can get separation though.
He's not great at it in college. I'll put it that way. And banking on those guys to translate to the NFL. I'm not saying they never do. Obviously, I mean some of them do, but I'd prefer to get better route runners. And if I'm Baltimore, I'm not drafting an O-lineman. I know they need O-linemen. They need to go the free agency route because Eric DeCosta has not shown the ability to draft offensive linemen. Yeah. So if I'm them, I'm looking at, and I hate to say it, but I'm looking at a guy like Ladd McConkey who can get separation.
I don't hate to say it. I'm good with that too.
No, I hate to say it because Carolina is picking at 33.
Jamie Mill wants to know about Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like Xavier Worthy. I wouldn't take him over Ladd McConkey. Or
me neither.
Yeah, I mean, because people, you just get wowed by the speed, and the speed doesn't matter. Yeah. Not really.
What's up, Mikey?
What's up, Mike?
Subscribe to Open Mic with OTR and Mike. Okay, new episodes are coming out soon. We're working on it. And Ring Kings podcast. We're going to record a new episode this Saturday or Sunday. It'll be out probably next Monday. We have a lot to talk.
Yeah, so my answer to that, I think that they should go a guy like Ladd McConkey, a separating wide receiver in that first round, and they need to hit the O-line in free agency, and they need to hit the O-line hard in free agency. Moving on to our next submitted question. This one is from Pay the Bills. He says, how does EDC's failure to sign Madubuike to a long-term deal over the last 2 years, resulting in the current tag situation, affect EDC's status as a, quote, great GM? And I don't know why I put that as a ticker. I'm going to go ahead and edit that right now. Didn't mean to do that.
What was the question again? Was it about Madubuike?
How does his failure to sign Madubuike over the last 2 years, leading to the current tag situation and them extending other guys and drafting other guys?
It wasn't a failure. Status. Pay the bills. It wasn't a failure. Yeah. They didn't. He had a breakout year. He didn't live up to what they expected up until this year. So even though they'll tell you, oh yeah, we like him, he's making strides, whatever, he didn't show it on the field. That's why they drafted Travis Jones. That's why they re-upped. They brought in Michael Pierce, and they re-upped him because they weren't sure if Madubuike was even going to keep this up all year, or if they were going to be in a position to re-sign him. So they had already made plans, and that's why they signed Broderick Washington. I know they said they tried to get a deal done with Madubuike last year, but the reason why they didn't get it done is because they weren't trying to pay him anything, right? They were trying to get a cheap deal done. They say, okay, we like his potential still, but we don't want to break the bank with him. And he said, no, I'm gonna take a chance on myself. And like, all right, cool, man. Like, whatever, right? They were ready to move on from him. Same thing with Patrick Queen. The reason why Patrick Queen isn't here right now is because he didn't live up to expectation, and they went and traded for Roquan Smith, and they paid Roquan Smith. Patrick Queen is playing great now, but they already made their choice. And this is what it is with Madubuike now. They made their choice already, but now they're walking it back. So,
I like this. Terry says McConkey doesn't fit with us. Why? Please,
what does that mean?
In detail, explain to me why a wide receiver who runs a 4.3 and can get separation on routes doesn't fit in Baltimore.
Now, Terry, I agree with this, but McConkey at 30, yeah. I mean, I think he's gonna be a first round pick. So you better go wide receiver in round 1 and tackle in round 2. I wouldn't be mad at that. But saying he doesn't fit, nah. What can he do out there? McConkey does everything. Like, no, get him.
Yeah. So next up, let's see. I believe this is our last submitted question for the week.
You're right, Tanja. Facts. She says they tried to put the heat on Madubuike by giving Broderick Washington a deal. He did nothing. That money could have went to Madubuike. Facts.
Well, I don't think they tried to put the heat on him. I think they said, hey, Broderick's playing better than Madubuike right now. If we have to make a decision right now, let's go with Broderick. And of course, the other part of it, like I said, Madubuike, I'm sure didn't want to sign an extension before this year, because he hadn't essentially broken out yet, and he wasn't going to make a ton of money. And actually, it looks like that was our last submitted question.
All right, I'll read one more comment here from Daniel Franklin. We're gonna move quick. And then we're gonna get this overtime show started. Hit that like button if you're new. Hit that subscribe button if you want more of this. The overtime show should go smoothly. This is what happened last week. We didn't have any hiccups in the overtime show. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's Patreon.com/LBHT Show. For as little as $5 a month, you can be a part of it. Okay. The overtime show, we do this every week after the main show, and we'll continue the conversation. We're going to be talking. We'll talk more football. We'll talk more Ravens, Panthers. We're going to talk some college football and the business of college football. Okay, these kids want to get paid now. All right, we're going to be talking a little Ryan Garcia. You guys been hearing about Ryan Garcia? He's been all over social media. So we'll be discussing that. But Daniel Franklin says, what cap are we going to use to sign O-line in free agency? We're going to have to do some serious maneuvering to make any moves after the wasted tag. So they will. They're going to, restructure some deals. They're going to make some more cuts, and they will eventually get a deal done with Madubuike. Usually, outside of Lamar, usually these tags don't last. They don't drag, right? Lamar was an outlier, I think, for this team. Usually they use a tag, and then in a couple weeks, a week or so, they make something happen. So I think Madubuike deal will get done sooner, much sooner than we think. But that's not the issue. The issue is they're not going to use it to really build this offense. They're going to go with, we like our guys, right? You already see people out there spewing that nonsense. Oh, well, Ben Cleveland will be able to step up. Andrew Voorhees he can fill one of the spots. People are penciling Andrew Voorhees already. That is a recipe for a disaster. And then they'll say, oh, we can just we'll draft a tackle in the second or third. We'll draft a wide receiver at at number 30. And if we're drafting a wide receiver at number 30, that means 10 went before him. Right? That's what we do. So not a good recipe. They're going to stack up on defense again. Defense will be
But yeah, basically following up on what I was saying, yeah, they have to make moves. We shouldn't be looking at that in Baltimore as some sort of emergency, circumstance. Oh man, we've got to manipulate the cap now. They should be doing that every year, like every other team in the league does.
Yeah,
it should be the standard practice in
Yeah.
Baltimore, but it's not.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Look, we'll pick this up in the overtime show. All right. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. Like you see right there, patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where we're going to do the overtime show. But let's do some basketball. Let's do trivia time. Let's do our drawing, and we're going to get up out of here. Basketball. LeBron James is the greatest of all time, and I don't want to hear any arguments about it. Okay, you're looking at two MJ fans here. Okay, I love MJ. I wanted to be like Mike. All right, I think our mom has it. This old basketball card when I was on a basketball team. We were stationed in Wheeler Air Force Base at the time. It's the Army Air Base now. Okay, and Jose's favorite basketball player, Michael Jordan. All right. I love MJ. All right. LeBron is better. I don't care what anybody says. If you're doing an all-time draft, you're not picking Mike over LeBron. I'm sorry. LeBron does everything. Okay. Mm-hmm. This man just scored 40,000 points. Okay. And this is why we're talking about LeBron right now, because he is the first NBA player in history to score 40,000 points. He did something that no other player did. Do you know how many great players that have played this game? I mean, hundreds and hundreds of great players. All right. For this man to score 40,000 points, something nobody has ever done.
Also, he scored 39,000 points, which no one else has ever done.
Yes.
So, yes. And he's still performing as one of the top players in the league.
Shirley says longevity doesn't mean greatness. Who else has done this? There's lots of players that have had longevity. Who has done this? And I'm sorry to tell you, Shirley, longevity does matter when you're talking about greatness. You have to play the game, because we can talk about a lot of players that could have been in this category that had their careers cut short because of injury, right? So yes, longevity absolutely factors into it. You have to be great for a long time.
And that's being pretty disingenuous, because he's not hanging around at 39 the way MJ was towards the. I shouldn't even say MJ was hanging around. Like, he was still a good player, but he was Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
LeBron is still LeBron. LeBron is still playing at an extremely high level. So we're not talking about his longevity. We're just talking about him being a great player still.
Yeah, exactly. DWZ. T-Mac was cut down by injury. Man, don't get me started. Love T-Mac. Right. Brandon Roy. You guys don't even remember Brandon Roy. He was a problem. Injuries cut his career down real quick. I mean, Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose managed to make a solid career, but man, he was great. But knees gave out on him. He was never the same player. I mean, we can go on and on about players that could have been.
Jeremy, MJ is not a better shooter.
No, he's not.
If you just look at their shooting percentages.
I mean, no matter what metric that you look at, he's not a better shooter than LeBron.
And it doesn't. We're not even gonna get into this. If MJ didn't leave for baseball, he could have crossed 40,000. Okay, cool. He did leave for baseball, and then he quit again. If LeBron had left Cleveland earlier, he'd have 10 rings, but he didn't, did he? So it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, you could do the what if game with anybody. Hey, you all mentioned Tracy McGrady. If Tracy McGrady didn't get hurt, he'd have more points than anybody, right? But he did, so he doesn't. So it doesn't matter.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, Jeremy. And again, this is in no way MJ slander. We are Michael Jordan fans. All right. You'll never hear me slandering Michael Jordan. But if isn't a stat.
No.
You have to play. I mean, and when you have that many great players, right? You have to separate yourself with these type of things. Okay. Stats don't tell the whole thing, but they tell a lot of it. They tell a lot. And you have to have these, these type of accolades and accomplishments, right? And LeBron's got them. I mean, obviously MJ has them. That's why this is an argument. Okay. I mean, our word isn't law on this, right? But we're making our case for LeBron. Okay.
No,
And this is another one.
but the numbers are, because like you can't even give Michael Jordan scoring, because LeBron he scored more points than everybody else in the history of the game, while being one of the best passers in the history of the game. You know, they weren't 20 years apart though, Daniel Franklin. Just they weren't that far apart.
Yeah. Different eras, yes, and I understand the different eras argument. So different eras, I hate it when people try to compare players that play 20 years apart.
But they didn't play 20 years apart.
No, but I get what he's saying though. I mean, he's just, when they compare different eras, it's hard to compare, but that's that's what we do. It's fine. I don't have a problem with the conversation, right? That's just kind of what you do in basketball. That's why we don't try to beat you over the head with LeBron is the best talk, right? Because it gets old after a while. But look, we love LeBron too, man. I mean, I didn't start out a huge LeBron fan. I didn't think he's going to live up to the hype, and I was completely wrong. He exceeded all the hype. Big fan of what he's done with his career. And as his career is winding down, because he doesn't have much time left, to see him still playing at a high level and make these type of accomplishments, man, it's great to see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else we got?
Let's see. It's ridiculous. We can go overhead and go to the trivia question. It should be a pretty easy one. Should be a very easy one, actually. And then we'll do the drawing or the wheel for the $25 gift card, and then we can get up out of here.
Yes.
Okay, so trivia. On this day, March 6th, in 2019, LeBron scored his 32,293rd point, moving into 4th place all time on the scoring list. Who did he pass?
I think I know. All right, this is for points. All right, this is for points. So first 3 that get it right get points. Okay. And like I said earlier in the show, points get you prizes. So the person with the most points at the end of the month gets a prize. We usually do it between like the $70, $100 range. We give you a little flexibility to pick what you want. All right. The second prize is the winner of a drawing. That's for a $25 Amazon gift card. What message are you looking at?
I was saying put them back in Jordan's era, and he would not come close to 40,000 points. Like I cannot stand this argument. Like, y'all didn't see some of the people who were playing defense in Jordan's era. Like, this is such a ridiculous argument. It's not even funny. It's not even funny. The league is more talented.
All right. Well, when B comes back, I'll let him finish the argument. But I know what he's going to say. Like, the league is much more talented now than it was in Jordan's era, which is 100% correct. Now, I understand like there's more defense played in that era, but the thing, LeBron couldn't hang with those guys. LeBron is a physical specimen. They would change the rules for to try to slow down LeBron in that era, right? Like, yes, it's more physical. What do you think somebody that's a physical specimen like LeBron would do to those guys? Hey,
you, appreciate it.
P. Brown the third. I know, aka P. Brownie. Hey, appreciate that. Thank you so much. Be awesome like P. Brown the third and join the Patreon. Okay, I know you got $5 in your pocket. All right, support the show. Check out our merch, LBHTShow.com/shop. All right, this is where the shirt comes from. You can't get the whole effect here because my blue screen, but it's a dope shirt. All right, that beanie that B's wearing over there. All right, I know it's starting to warm up a little bit, but the beanie always looks good. It always looks good. No, like yes, Nah, that the whole LeBron couldn't hang in that era. I'm pretty sure he went and struggled with Bill Laimbeer. I'm pretty certain of that. Okay.
Silly.
All right. So trivia. We're sitting here arguing. Did anybody answer the question?
I saw Jeremy got it. I believe Jeremy had it first, but I'll have to go back and look here.
And the question was, who did he pass on the list? I see Jordan. Is it Jordan?
It is Michael Jordan.
I was going to say Karl Malone. See, so
I would never ask a question to which Karl Malone is the answer on the show.
That's why you don't listen to me. When I give answers, don't listen to me. All right.
So Derek has it, Jeremy has it, and then Killer Cam.
All right. Shout out to you guys, man. And if you guys want to check your points, you just type in !points in the chat, and our chat bot will tell you how many points you have. What's up, Danity? It says 54 in the chat. Hit the like and subscribe button. Kings and queens, salute to Danity. Appreciate you, Danity.
Thank you, Danity.
Yes.
Get these points out here.
All right.
Miller.
So IB is doing that. Just want to reiterate because we're getting over to the overtime show. Patreon.com/LBHT Show is where you can find us. All right. We had some technical difficulties tonight. Appreciate you guys hanging tough with us. This ain't going to happen again next week. I promise you that. Okay. It'll probably be something else because, I mean, we don't
confirm that it's going to happen again next week. Congratulations. Really, thank you to Lame Beer for the $1 donation. I would destroy LeBron. Before I got the rest of it there, give me 1 second.
What
I would destroy LeBron. Could never hang in my era.
Lame Beer.
Yeah.
Appreciate the donations, man. Look, it's the off season, but we still have a lot in store for you guys. So make sure you're supporting the show. Also, I should stress this out earlier, but for our Patreon members, okay, we have a lot of perks. You guys already know that. We got the overtime show. We got a LBHT crew coin, all right, for the $10 members, all right. If you guys forgot, I know I haven't shown this in a while, but that's the coin right there. We have our Discord, which is, I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there. All right. And we don't kick anybody out. So later on,
unless you come in here talking this, oh, these players couldn't survive in the 90s. it's complete nonsense. Chris Mullen out here putting up 25 a game for 5 straight years in the lockdown 90s.
Yeah. But yes, we lots of perks. But coming up in April 6th.
Yes.
We are going to go take a tour of the Ravens Stadium. Okay. So, and in fact, I need patrons that are interested. You could be signed up to us. You can be signed up to Hendo's channel, Rogue Pod. You can be signed up to Open Mic with OTR Mike. You can be signed up to. Did Coach say he's participating in this? I can't remember what Coach said. I don't want to speak for Coach.
Sure, but we can ask him.
Okay, but sign up to Patreon, and if you want to go, it's limited. It's limited. It's limited. Yeah. Just hit us up, and we'll get a head count. And we're going to go take a tour of the stadium, and then we're going to get something to eat afterwards, okay, in the surrounding area. A mini meet and greet, if you will, okay? It'll be a lot of fun.
Because says Lane Beer was a dog. Yeah, he was. And you know why he had to be? Because he didn't have a single muscle on his body.
No muscle definition whatsoever. They were, man. The bad boys were, I mean, they were tough. And I'm not trying to take anything away from those guys. But, I mean, you had to, yes, there's more defense being played back then, but you have to appreciate what these guys are doing now. They take much better care of their bodies. They're just more skilled than those guys were, right? I don't want to say those guys were tougher, but they were tougher because they had to be tougher. The rules were different, right? And the rules are different now. I wouldn't call these guys soft. People like to call these players soft.
I don't think they were tougher. I mean, look, the game was
the game was tougher.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't think they're tougher people. Like,
no,
I
don't.
You just start being physical with these guys, they'll just be physical back.
That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Yeah, I meant to say
flopping because that's just the way it is. That's how you get calls.
Yes, that's what I meant. Oh, he froze. But yes, no, he was gonna say, like, the game now, that's just how the rules are. You can't punch somebody and play next week. I mean, Draymond tried it. He proved to you guys that you can't play that way. You guys call Draymond a menace. I mean, we call him a menace. But you guys call Draymond a menace. Like everything that Draymond does, it's always, it's in the headlines. They talk about it on mainstream media. He's got to be suspended. He's got to go to therapy and all that stuff. All he is a 90s player.
And look how bad he is in today's league. He's a role player.
That's what, every time they say, "Oh, they couldn't hang in our league," I look at players like Draymond. Draymond's like, "I wish we can go. I wish it was 1992."
All right, it's time for the Wheel of Luck.
Yes,
we're gonna give away the $25 gift card and get up out of here because it's ridiculous. We're gonna head to the overtime show.
This is the first time we're doing the wheel.
It is indeed.
And this is for everybody that got at least 1,000 points. Okay, and I showed you all the ways to get 1,000 points on the show. So let's go. All right, got the sound effects and everything. I like this. Who is that? Jay the Six. Oh, barely beating out Jeremy.
We got to spin again. He ain't even in here. That's not right. All right. Well, congratulations to Jay the Six. We'll let him know since he decided to not watch the show.
All right, that's a $25 Amazon gift card. All right. Yes. So we do this every month.
Alex Rada, hit us up. Let us know what you want as the overall points winner.
Yes.
And for everybody else, get your points up and you'll be on the wheel at the start of next month.
That's right. Okay. So that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to get these issues fixed for next week. And we have a lot more to talk about on the overtime show. So patrons, get ready. B, are you ready?
I am very, very ready.
Me too. All right. The overtime show is starting in a few minutes. Everybody else, thank you so much. Have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.